A very good evening and a warm welcome to our second edition of UBC News Tonight on this 29th day of May 2025. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. We do welcome you now. Before we get into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. And in our top stories tonight, Museveni flags off first milk export to Algeria. Besigye committed to High Court for trial. Court declines release on mandatory bail. Police heighten security at Namugongo, bans vendors near the main street. And Parliament approves loan request as financial year 2024-25 nears end. Good evening once again. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has today flagged off the first consignment of powdered milk to the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, marking a significant milestone for Uganda's agricultural sector. At the inaugural shipment ceremony held at State House in Entebbe, attended by officials from the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, led by Honorable Frank Tumwebaze, and those from Brookside Limited, the President flagged off 4 containers of powdered milk, equivalent to 500 metric tons. The consignment is part of the total 2,100 metric tons of high-quality milk powder worth over $8 million that is to be sent to Algeria. This export is a result of bilateral negotiations and a memorandum of understanding signed during President Museveni's visit to Algeria in March 2023, which opened markets for coffee, milk and other products from Uganda. The Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Honorable Tumwebaze, congratulated Brookside and dairy sector for the milestone, expressing hope that increased exports will sustain the market for farmers. According to Kennedy Gatheru, the Director of Finance at Brookside Africa Limited, the partnership will open up a large market that the whole country can benefit from. During an official meeting on the 13th of December 2024 at State Lodge Nakasero, where President Museveni hosted Mr. Ahmed Atta, Algeria's Minister for Foreign Affairs and a special envoy of President Abdelmajid Tebboune, he commended the growing cooperation between Uganda and Algeria, expressing his gratitude to his Algerian counterpart for the tangible progress in implementing bilateral agreements. In the meeting, Atta informed President Museveni that Algeria's goal is to redirect its annual $700 million milk import budget towards Uganda due to its high-quality fresh milk. Now, the Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, has assured the public that the government has already released 39 billion shillings to complete the rehabilitation of Mityana Mubende Road. Nabanja revealed this while commissioning the South Division Administration Block and a health center for the division in Mubende Municipality, Mubende District.
Ministry to release 39 billion shillings needed to complete the road rehabilitation of the Mityana Mubende Road, which had stalled due to inadequate funds.
Ekizibu kye twali twafuna nti contractor yali ya withdrawing yanyiga naye sente president bwe yava wano n'alagira esente ne bazimuwa bamuwa billion 39 era bangambye nti atandise okugalira ebinnya. He is already on site, ali mu kutereza byuma ate budde bonna agenda okujja oluguudo oluyolotebwe ate sente twazimuwadde zonna alina okukola okuva wali tusuubira mu myezi ng'ene 5 tujja kuba tutambula nga tutudde.
She further says the NRM government is committed to improve access to facilitate development of the country.
Wenjagalira okubagamba nti amazima omuntu atalaba NRM byakoze akwasa obusungu.
Nabanja first commissioned the health center for Mubende South Division, constructed using locally raised revenue and ordered for its immediate upgrade to a health center free to serve the public and its purpose.
As Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, it is my honor to officially njagala okubasiima olw'eddwaliro eryo Government eya Uganda ekulembebwa President Museveni yalekeraawo okuzimba amalwaliro ag'eddaala eryokubiri. Buli omu akugradinganga eddwaliro eryo oba libadde ku ddaala lyakubiri, mubuulire gavumenti mangu eteeke byonna mu budget tusobole okubaweereza abasawo be mubadde mwogerako.
The Premier asked the people of Mubende to embrace government programs and increase their household incomes.
Buli muntu abeere ne kyakola ekivaamu ssente. Bw'oba tolina kyokola kivaamu ssente, then ojja kubeera nga buli kaseera wanka.
The leaders from Mubende briefed the Prime Minister on challenges affecting the people of Mubende that include inadequate electricity, water and road infrastructure.
Kwebaza government eya NRM olw'okutusobozesa okuwa obuweereza abantu bano.
Twagala omutugambire nga bw'oteesezza next financial year eddwaliro lyaffe libeere fully equipped with staff.
Nabanja, while responding to the issues raised, asked the town clerk to make a report and assured them of government intervention. The Prime Minister donated shillings 10 million towards the completion of the South Division Administration Block.
The President of the Republic of Uganda, and on my own behalf, it is my honor to officially commission Mubende Municipality, South Division Administration Block, Mubende Municipality.
Nakawa Chief Magistrates Court has committed retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, Haji Obed Lutale and Captain Olalo Dennis to the International War Crimes Division Court for a full trial. Besigye and other co-accused, who ordered their legal team to move out of court in protest of the court's ruling of not allowing them to be released on mandatory bail, made it hard for court to commit them to High Court, although the prayers were overruled by court.
Accused retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, Haji Obed Lutale and Captain Olalo Dennis are facing charges of treason and misprision of treason. Before committal, prosecution first made some amendments in the charge sheet by adding more ingredients in the charges. According to the committal papers presented before Chief Magistrate Christine Nantege, prosecution stated that retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye Chifefe, a former senior army officer and a founder member of FDC, allegedly used the international meetings in Geneva, Switzerland and Nairobi, Kenya throughout 2023 and 2024 to coordinate the plan to overthrow the government of Uganda.
The proceedings of the above meetings were recorded using a covert camera. Dr. Besigye and AW had numerous conversations and exchanged numerous social media messages, wherein Dr. Besigye discussed with AW details of his intentions and the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by.
Court also had that the meeting reportedly involved foreign operatives, including Kadash intelligence agent alias AW, with whom Besigye discussed military training, sabotage, assassination attempts on President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni via drone strike. Prosecution further alleged that Besigye also solicited and received $5,000 from AW to fund the transportation of 36 Ugandans to Kisumu, Kenya for a military training, although the group was arrested before that training and later deported to Uganda and charged with terrorism.
You discussed and expressed your intentions to overturn the government of Uganda by force of
Besigye is further charged of requesting military-grade weapons, including surface-to-air missiles, counterfeit currency, to tamper with the country's economy, and to poison critical military installations, including major barracks across the country.
Gaddafi Military Barracks, Marine Division Luzira, Air Force Academy, Nakasongola Engineering College.
Other evidence to be relied on by the DPP include video and audio recordings, social media chats, immigration logs, and call data records, among others. The prosecution states that all the plots to overthrow the government of Uganda was recorded and monitored by AW, who was working closely with the Ugandan military intelligence, which evidence will be presented to court during trial. It's alleged that the three committed the said offences between the year 2023 and November 2024 at various places and countries, including Geneva in Switzerland, Nairobi in Kenya and Kampala in Uganda. Before committing them to court, Besigye made it hard for court to read the committal papers in the absence of their legal team, although court overruled their prayers.
But I'd like to ask my lawyers to prioritize what needs to be done to seek our freedom.
Trouble started when the accused ordered their legal team to leave court with the aim of filing an application in High Court challenging the ruling by Magistrate Christine Mpigi for not releasing them on a mandatory bail. Besigye and co-accused were further remanded. Deborah Mubende, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
The Mufti of Uganda, His Eminence Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubende, today officially inaugurated the preparations for the Muslim Martyrs Day Shuhada commemoration scheduled to take place on June 10th, 2025. The event was held at Masjid Nur Shuhad, a historic mosque located in Namugongo, the site where early Muslim martyrs were executed for their faith.
Uganda, His Eminence Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubende was accompanied by the Deputy Mufti, Sheikh Ali Muhammad Waiswa, District Kadhi of Wakiso, Sheikh Elias Chigozi, and other prominent Muslim leaders. The delegation toured key Islamic heritage in the site in Namugongo, including the monument built by the late President Idi Amin Dada, the grave of the first Imam, Abdallah Chigundu, the Quran School, and Masjid Nur Shuhad itself. In his remarks, Mufti Mubende emphasized the distinctiveness of Muslim matters in Uganda's history and cited the site is now a national concern.
N'olwekyo ffenga mu Interreligious Council tugezaako kubeera nti tujjukira abo abafiiridde enzikiriza zaabwe ate nekitujjukiza nti enzikiriza tezeetaaga kuyiwa musaayi. Omuntu toyiwa musaayi gwe olw'enzikiriza ye wabula okozesa makubo malungi n'omusikiriza n'ayagala naye tomuwaliriza buwaliriza okubeera nti agoberera ekyo ky'okkiririzaamu.
He revealed that both the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and the government of Uganda have ongoing development plans for the Namugongo Memorial Site, including its expansion and enhancement to accommodate more pilgrims and visitors.
In the preparation to this place, we are planning to clear the area whereby we had a problem of the kiosk squatters. But alhamdulillah, today, through the Mufti's guidance, we have passed on the resolution that these kiosks must be cleared and they have to leave the space.
Speaking about the upcoming Shuhad Day celebrations, the Mufti confirmed that the President of Uganda will be the chief guest at the national event on June 10th, which aims to highlight the contribution and sacrifices of early Muslims in the country.
Tukirambudde nga tweteekerateekera olunaku olw'okubeera nti tubasabira n'okubajjukira nga 10 omwezi ogw'omukaaga insha Allahu Taala tukanya ebyafaayo by'abazira bafu abo abaafiirira eddiini yaffe y'Obusiraamu wano mu kifo ky'e Namugongo.
District Kadhi Sheikh Elias Chigozi provided historical context during their visit, narrating the importance of the Islamic sites in different places in Wakiso Muslim district.
Any other area, because as a Muslims we have matters in Saudi Arabia. As we go for pilgrimage or for Umrah, we go to Jabal Uhud, where there was a battle of Muslims and many Muslims were killed over there. So the same to Ugandans, we have Muslims who were killed over believing and accepting the oneness of God.
Rebecca Natongo, Dan Logemwa, UBC News.
Several groups of pilgrims from the Catholic and Anglican churches in the dioceses of Lira, northern Uganda, and Gulu, who have been trekking their journeys of faith to Namugongo Martyrs shrines for the last 11 days, anticipate to reach tomorrow or Saturday. Now, we met the clusters in Maganjo, Kagoma, and Chigogwa, among other places, in prayer.
These are among the pilgrims who have walked the journeys of faith from various parts of the country to Namugongo to emulate and endure the faith of the Ugandan martyrs who were executed for their faith. Despite the longer journeys spent on the way amidst trials and pain, they are convinced that they will finally make it to Namugongo. In the area of Maganjo is where we met over 140 pilgrims of the Anglican Church from the Diocese of Northern Uganda, who still looked strong and energetic amidst singing the songs of praise. These, led by the security forces to deter any threats and sabotage along the way, shared their experiences.
We started our journey on the 19th of this month. So far now we've walked for almost 10 days.
Imagine from Gulab to here, I've never moved such a distance. Ever since when I'm coming to Kampala, I could use a bus. But trekking all along, for the first time, it was not all that easy for me.
We later made our destination to Kagoma, where we met 227 Catholic pilgrims from the Archdiocese of Gulu, accompanied by the army, police and traffic police who gave them way.
Moving well, we still don't have much problem on the way. We have services, medical services, and then the ambulance, the Red Cross is also with us, and we are traveling well.
Walking in a pilgrimage is very enriching because that's where you identify yourself with the martyrs that suffered for, Christianity.
To prevent any risk of accidents, one pilgrim held the flags to guide and control fellow trekkers while on the road.
Always try as much as possible to be keen and keep guiding and reminding the pilgrims always to keep the traffic laws on the road. We normally tell them when you hear we say double yellow, that means the cars are coming from both sides. And so we tell them maintain white, that means you fall back. So we keep monitoring this, swapping this, and then we also use the whistles to cause alert.
At Kawanda, we encountered 410 pilgrims from Madi Westendal and Nebi groups of Church of Uganda Christians. And these came from 6 dioceses, as Reverend William Alako, their leader, explains.
We started this journey by Friday. We started moving from Rua to Nebi. That's on Friday. As we are going for these pilgrims, it is a very good thing that we have organized ourselves to work for our faith.
Eric Jabero, a disabled who traveled in a wheelchair, told UBC that through the intercession of the martyrs, he prays for an electric-driven wheelchair to ease his movement.
I'm going there where I can put my request to God. Special prayer request. I want a lot. I want to ask from God. Like one of them, I want to buy electric wheelchair, and also I want to buy a lamp.
We also joined the 886 trekkers from Lira Catholic Diocese at Kakarenge village in Bombo. These, carrying their backpacks and belongings at the backs, made a stopover to quench themselves of thirst. Some were spotted playing the famous Adungu instrument.
Instead of using keyboard, for us we use this local made called Adungu. And the sound you are listening is a Catholic song. That's why it is singing.
They shared with us their special prayer requests from the martyrs.
Okay. She started this journey on the 16th of May. She has joined this trek because of disease attacking her at home and her children. So she wanted to pray as martyrs.
My prayer's intention is to ask God to unite my children so that they love one another. Yes. And also, if God can give me financial breakthrough so that I built a church, because I donated land to the church in my home.
We were told that the number of pilgrims increased as several others from different localities joined them along the way.
Later, we were 896. Along the way, other pilgrims joined us from different parishes, and our number was increasing. We were, as I talk now, we are 1,125.
Upon arrival at Chigogwa along Bombo Road, they took a break and were offered water by MK Property Masters. Leaders revealed their prayer intentions.
The journey so far is so good, very inspiring, very encouraging, because it is a journey of faith, full of prayer, meditation, because in our journey we are saying various types of prayer.
Some are coming, they are praying for their families, they need peace in their families. Others are praying for job opportunities. Others are praying for their children to study well. Others are praying for both physical and spiritual healing.
Those vying for political positions in the 2026 general elections said they are seeking wins through the Martyrs.
I'm an aspiring candidate for Otuke constituency in the upcoming general election 2026. Most leaders want to seek for this kind of thing from maybe the shrine or something, but me, I've chosen to get this blessing from the church, and that is why I have really sacrificed this time to walk all through from Otuke, Aliwang Parish.
The groups expect to arrive at Namugongo tomorrow or on Saturday. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
I truly admire the pilgrims who have left their home districts to walk until Namugongo. Walking for over 11 days is no joke for a normal human being, but of course they continue to take on that journey of faith. Definitely may God give you the strength and may God answer all your prayers. Now, in more news tonight, Christians have been urged to always do good deeds to match the lives of the Ugandan martyrs who died for their faith. Now, this message was made by the head of Bethel Healing International Prayer Center Church at Pride Theatre in Kampala, Pastor Irene Manjeri. We have more.
The journey of the Ugandan martyrs to martyrdom isn't something to be taken for granted, as they were executed for their faith and love for Christianity.
Many of them were pagans. So I believe that the boldness that the Ugandan martyrs displayed, or that they showed, played a big role in bringing the faith in God to Uganda. And now, for those of us that were born after that, we can proudly say here in Uganda that we believe in God.
Such was the message delivered to congregation by Pastor Irene Manjeri of Bethel Healing International Prayer Center, saying that much as the martyrs were majorly Anglicans, Catholics and Muslims, born-again Christians also celebrate their lives as Christians.
We can proudly say here in Uganda that we believe in God, just because they offered their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, we should never stop respecting the Ugandan martyrs, no matter what faith we have or what belief or religion we are. We appreciate what they did.
Manjeri urged Christians to emulate Ugandan martyrs and also seek their intercession.
Solved quicker, which I believe that we end up making a mistake. We need to come back to God. He's the only answer in this world full of desperation. At the end of the day, someone will say, my God, Katonda wange, God help me.
As schools open for a new term, Manjeri asks school managers to be lenient to parents to avoid keeping learners at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching me and you're a school owner or a private school owner, I humbly request that there should be an exception, an option, that the parents who are not able to bring all the money at once, like this is a new term and parents are under pressure. Parents who are not able to bring all the money at once, that they should still also be given an opportunity to bring that money as they can.
Mike Bakabulindi compiled this report for UBC News.
Parliament has approved a proposal to borrow up to 270 million euros from the African Export-Import Bank and 230 million euros from the Eco Bank to finance the current financial year budget. The Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Masika Kazimoto, cited how the two loans will increase on the current debt by the end of the financial year 2024-25. The loan request faced some resistance by some MPs. We have the details.
Despite the tail end of the financial year, the Minister presented 2 loans to Parliament that are to finance the running financial year 2024-2025.
My ministry has now concluded negotiations for the euro 500 million, approximately shillings 1,982.65 billion, to finance these approved expenditures from external sources.
The euro 270 million from the African Export and Import Bank and euro 230 million from the Eco Bank are to be used in clearing expenditures in the Treasury and to finance government obligations.
While the additional euro 230 million is to finance the supplementary expenditure schedule number 3 approved by Cabinet and later Parliament on the 12th of March 2025 for financial year 24-25.
Despite the implications, the move shall see a higher shift in the country's debt.
The loan will slightly increase our current debt stock, as at the end of June 2024, the total public debt stock stood at $25.55 billion, increasing from $23.6 billion as at the end of 23.
Some members of Parliament disagreed on the loan's approval, citing how the process is done at the eve of the financial year.
The system of Uganda closes on the 15th of the month. So from now you have only 14 days. Even if you borrow 2, the arrangement time for the money to be wired from wherever to Uganda's Bank of Uganda account can, unless he went, got the money, borrowed it, he had it here, and that's unconstitutional.
The minister should have given a justification why there was a delay in the planning.
Other MPs, including Remiaga County MP Sechikubo Theodore, questioned the Line Ministry to present the cost of the loans and documentations of proper absorption of the funds.
We are having in new conditions, as I was listening in to the minister. The management fee, the agency fee, the commitment fee.
Minister of Finance, you see here, trying to borrow this amount of money, must first ascertain that he has capability to absorb the money. Because
the year is ending, the suppliers, the debtors are demanding for the money. So really, Honorable Kivumbi, it is not money which we have cham. No, this money is...
This was followed with a marathon procedure that did not allow the House to debate what was described as a critical and urgent loan request.
To enable this House debate this matter and consider the rule, the motion for to borrow without necessarily referring it to the committee.
In favor, sign the contract, nay. Guys have it.
The Thursday plenary ended the 4th session of the 11th Parliament as the MPs prepare to receive the State of the Nation address on 6th June 2025. Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
Uganda's health sector has reached a key milestone in its journey towards modern, reliable and efficient medical service delivery. The Ministry of Health has officially launched the latest edition of the National Medical Equipment Guidelines, a critical tool aimed at streamlining how medical equipment is acquired, used and managed across the country.
1998, when the Minister of Health appointed the National Advisory Committee on Medical Equipment, NACOME, to develop a comprehensive policy for the health sector. Just a few years later, the National Medical Equipment Policy was released in 1991, guiding both government and non-government institutions on proper procurement and management of medical equipment. The policy has since been reviewed and updated multiple times in 2000, 2003 and 2009, keeping pace with technological advancements and emerging medical techniques. This latest edition introduces groundbreaking strategies that could transform Uganda's healthcare infrastructure.
The guidelines aim to promote standardization,
foster innovation and ensure equitable access to quality medical technologies at all levels of care. To ensure a sustainable equipment management, a budgetary allocation of 2% to 7% of the investment cost for the first 3 years and 7 to 12% for the subsequent years has been prescribed for the health facility managers to adequately operate and maintain their equipment.
Key medical professionals such as Dr. Stephen Tendo and Engineer Tadeo Byabagambi emphasized the importance of adopting smarter acquisition systems and building stronger technical capacity for equipment maintenance.
Stakeholder involvement. We found out that actually all our problems with equipment mainly stem from stakeholders who are never involved from the word go. We make mistakes, we assume that all this is going to go to this place and it will work. And then we send it to a stakeholder who's not even knowing what we are sending him. And then you find that 5 months down the road you go down, you found a very nice X-ray machine, it has been kept in a corner, nothing is moving.
The target is to ensure that the efficiency and effectiveness of our medical equipment is enhanced at all levels. This document is not only for the public health facilities, it is supposed to serve all the health facilities in the country.
A major highlight in the new policy is the medical equipment classification and coding system, a feature praised by frontline professionals.
Equipment obsolescence due to rapid technological advancement, especially for the automated equipment, the lab equipment. Within 2 years, you have a new model, there is new technology, and they are telling you that model you have is no longer acceptable.
Development partners including CHAI, Enable, NDA, NMS, UCI, Genome, GMS and others were commended for their support, with the Health Minister pledging deeper partnerships in line with the new guidelines.
Thank you very much, Team CHAI, for demonstrating the true spirit of CHAI about being collaborative and staying true to our mission. Our mission at CHAI is saving lives, and we believe that no matter where you're born, you should not have denial to access of quality services.
UBC News tonight. Now, in a bid to promote free and fair elections in Uganda, the African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Torture Victims, together with the Coalition Against Torture in Uganda, has launched a joint human rights intervention plan aimed at addressing the recurring challenges of torture, violence and human rights violations during electoral processes.
Uganda is set to hold its national elections early 2026 as per the National Electoral Roadmap. However, past elections have been marred by incidents of torture, violence and human rights abuses.
In 2015, we registered 1,277 cases. That is a year before the 2016 elections, where we registered 1,346 cases. And in 2020, registered 960 cases, and the year after, in 2021, which was an election year, we registered 1,151 cases.
Addressing the media today, representatives from the African Center for Torture Victims and Rehabilitation, ACTV, and the Coalition Against Torture highlighted concerns over the continued use of torture and violence during elections.
A torture and violence-free election should be an aspiration for all democracies, as it is the tenet of good governance and rule of law. Key to note is that torture and violence leave devastating negative physical and psychological impact in the lives of survivors and their families. This has resulted into high spending on treatment and rehabilitation services by individuals, civil society organizations, and government.
The coalition has now launched a joint human rights intervention plan to guide the violent-free elections for 2026.
Conduct awareness sensitizations on torture and human rights for various security agencies before the elections. 2. Conduct awareness and dialogue engagements on peaceful elections with various community members. 3. Conduct advocacy engagement meetings with political parties and relevant ministries, departments, and agencies of state. 4. Document reported torture allegations before, during, and after elections to enable survivors seek justice.
The coalition is also calling on the Electoral Commission, security agencies, political parties, and the media to play their respective roles in ensuring that elections are peaceful and free from human rights abuses.
The Electoral Commission should take lead in prevention of election-related violence and torture by developing a framework on prevention of torture and violence during elections in Uganda. Security agencies should adhere to constitutional and international human rights standards during the entire election period. In addition, the errant officers that perpetrate violence should be punished to end the cycle of impunity.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Mpigi leaders and residents celebrated the launch of the Mpigi Muduma Road, a key project under the Kampala Metropolitan Development Program. Minister Minsa Kabanda urged support for NRM in Makindye Sabagabo. The ministry collaborated with opposition leaders despite partisan divides.
Residents bridged partisan divides to celebrate the Mpigi Muduma Road launch.
Tenkulakulane ya billions zemuwulidde 17 nga zizze mu kitundu. Fine oluguudo lugenda kuba masavu naye gulugenda kuteeka koki.
Era nsanyusa nnyo abantu b'Empigi nti mulabika mulina bye mwagala okuva mu gavumenti eya NRM kati mugiwa omukisa ekyaliwo egenda baweereza byonna.
And this program is for 5 years. That cow did not tell you. We're already going for mid-term review. So we are working around the clock to make sure we deliver.
Despite 96% of residents voluntarily ceding land for the road, the remaining 4% pose a challenge. As construction commences, balancing road with width requirements with landowners, decisions and environmental concerns from the National Forestry Authority will be crucial. Minister Minsa Kabanda urged residents to support government programs and endorse NRM in upcoming elections, citing the opposition's recent underwhelming performance.
Twagala abakozi tetwagala bagenda kukola ki? Bagenda kutuula butuzi mu Parliament. Twagala omukozi, twagala abantu bagenda okuteeseza, twagala abantu bagenda okunoonya ki ekiddako. N'olwekyo mbasaba Mama Meria mumuwa akalulu.
The Kampala Metropolitan Development Program in Mpigi encompasses a range of infrastructure projects, including the construction of the key roads such as the 15-kilometer Mpigi Muduma Road, 4.8-kilometer Lungala Link, and the 9.6-kilometer Nachirebe Buyala Road. Additionally, the program includes the development of markets in Mpigi Central, Muduma and Nachirebe, as well as the restoration of the Makanaga wetland. Amelia's adopt lobbying skills paid off, transforming the event into a dual launch that also unveiled a community ambulance, earning her the adoration of locals whose faces seemed to guarantee her a favorable reception at the polls come election time. In Makindye Sabagabo, the ministry collaborated with opposition leaders in a two-lot road project, earning their appreciation despite partisan divides.
Twafunye kilometers 10 n'obutundutundu okugwamu era nga eno yemu ku nteekateeka eziri under Greater Kampala Metropolitan.
The Undersecretary stressed pivotal role of Communication Officer Bernadette Ndema in the project's success, emphasizing her crucial contribution to its progression.
Alina okubeera ku ground bwe wabeerawo ebizibu ababuulire. Ebintu bwe bibanga bitambula bulungi ababuulire mumanye nti ebintu bitambula bwe batyo ate tutambule bomu.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with more stories after these messages.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80# Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
I got to learn about the Powerball through the website www.nationallottery.go.ug. Played Powerball tickets worth 5,000, used an option of quick pick, and that's how I was able to be the lucky one to win 35 million. I checked my tickets online and I found out that I had winning numbers. The feeling was incredible and full of excitement. I would advise everyone who is 18 and above that whatever you're seeing here exemplifies reality. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Uganda National Lottery for bringing us this opportunity to win millions.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Are you a woman with a small-scale business with a dream of growing it to another level? The GROW Project is here to support you in realizing your dream.
The GROW Project is a government initiative implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and Private Sector Foundation Uganda with support from the World Bank.
We support women-owned businesses across the country to gain hands-on and business management skills through training within your location, business financing through grants and affordable loans, and infrastructure in your areas of operation to enable you to increase your productivity.
If you have a business that makes sales of up to 800,000 Uganda shillings per month, the GROW Project has the tools and resources to help you succeed. For more information, contact your district or city GROW focal person or call our toll-free line on 0800 307 777 to learn more about how you can benefit from the GROW Project's services.
The GROW Project, empowering women economically, transforming communities.
All right, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
Glad you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. Now in more news this evening, 15 Makerere University students have been selected for specialized training in Industry 4.0 skills. The program, supported by UNDP, aims to transition learners into makers, shifting Uganda from a consumer of foreign technologies to a producer of homegrown innovations. Dennis Segua reports.
The United Nations Development Programme Uganda, Makerere University and Luera Electronics initiative marks a major milestone in Uganda's drive to localize technology production, create jobs and contribute to inclusive economic growth for years to come.
Trainings of this kind are very important in that you bring out graduates with the relevant skills who are market ready to go into the industry and manufacture and produce services that are required to solve the global challenges of the day. Many countries, in the Oriental countries in Asia, have done this.
Alone is not enough. We must ensure that what is made in Uganda is also bought in Uganda. Therefore, I call upon government to fully implement the Buy Uganda, Build Uganda global policy. Products like computers, calculators, smart devices, manufactured by our own young people right here at the Uniport should be the first choice for public sector procurement. This is more money in the hands of the innovators.
The 15 selected innovators from Makerere University will undergo 6 months training led by Luera Electronics, a company committed to empowering African innovators and startups to create solutions for local challenges.
And we envision by the end of this program, we shall have 4 products that have been designed by local engineers, and they'll be manufactured after the program.
How long is the program?
The program is going to last 6 months, and the first 3 months more of the skilling, sitting down with these people, teaching them the design tools. Then the rest of the 3 months will be more of hands-on.
Speaking virtually at the launch in Makerere University, Monica Musenero, the Minister for Science, Technology and Innovation, offered key guidance to the students as they embarked on the transformative journey. Industry 4.0 program is a game-changing initiative that embraces the fourth industrial revolution. It transitions young Ugandans from learners to active makers and innovators.
Because of this opportunity, the manpower which we have, the brain power which we have in Africa is going to be tapped into, and we're going to gain the practical skills necessary to make Uganda possibly the China of Africa, or to make us the next Silicon Valley.
Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Now, a few days ago, Africa marked its liberation anniversary with a reminder of a continent's long road from colonization to independence. But beyond the symbolism lies a question: what has liberation truly delivered and what remains undone? Now, in our special report, we trace the continent's journey from the past, the struggles, through present challenges to a future full of promise.
Lions and buffaloes live together in a national park. But that relationship is naturally healthy, but it's not in the interest of the buffaloes, it's in the interest of the lions.
Africa's 20th century was a battlefield of identity, carved up in foreign capitals and ruled without consent. Her children fought back with courage and conviction, with the continent inheriting flags and anthems, not industries or system. Liberation was not just about pushing out the colonizers. It was about reclaiming humanity and agency within the continent.
That's why I've been telling Ugandans that there is no free lunch. They have a reason why they interfere in our internal affairs. It's not the love of Africa. No, there is another agenda behind and it's in their interest. It's in the interest of their people.
From the mountains of Kabale to the streets of Accra, Africa bled to be free. But when the guns fell silent, the harder war began, building a continent from scratch. Today's Africa is a paradox, rich in minerals, manpower and markets, yet plagued by corruption, dependency and inequality. Still, a new generation is reshaping the narrative.
You've seen that the cost of raw materials, like things like uranium, which was being taken into France, all these resources now have come back and under the control of the local people, Chad, the Niger, Burkina Faso, and now they form a union. They're trying to form a union. But all this is now being curtailed, is being undermined by the European masters because they don't want Africa to unite. Because the earlier or the faster Africa unites, the better.
Global powers compete for Africa's favor, a scramble, remaining evident for all to see. But this time, Africans are watching, weighing, and in some cases resisting.
They will not help us to develop. Because when we develop, then we become their competitors. then we deny them the raw materials because we can use the raw materials they use in their factories, which create employment, to use in our factories and create jobs here.
The African future is not written in aid agreements or policy papers. It is engraved in the minds of young innovators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. This is why Africa must industrialize to outlive the colonial model, which was extraction. The model of Africa must be transformation of the continent's resources, knowledge, and identity.
It's important that Africa must come out of these internal contradictions which were created by our colonial masters. I think we need to champion and bring in a new mindset in order to ensure that the African continent has got a major approach towards resolving these issues.
To remain divided in the first place was the cause of our problem right at colonial outset, and to remain united is not to learn anything from history.
Corruption and people taking money from the African continent and going to bank in Switzerland, in Dubai now, in countries' offshore accounts, is also undermining the economic base of the African continent.
From colonial chains to the corridors of innovation, Africa is rising. But this rise is neither guaranteed nor complete. The struggle requires a renewal of the mission. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you, Henry Okrut, for that future story. Now, in more news this evening, the Ministry of Water and Environment has launched the National Climate Change Mechanism Regulations 2025. The regulations are meant to operationalize some of the sections in the Climate Change Act by providing a structured approach for government and private sector to participate in carbon markets. We have the details.
Uganda's National Climate Change Act provides for participation in the climate change mechanisms, and therefore the regulations developed by the Ministry of Water and Environment are aimed at operationalizing some of the sections in the Act. The regulations provide clear approaches on how government and the private sector can participate in the carbon markets. Carbon markets are trading systems where carbon credits representing the reducing or removal of greenhouse gas emissions are bought and sold.
Okay, there you go. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Uganda's participation in the carbon markets will help to generate revenue through sale of carbon credits and therefore facilitate financing of national climate priorities.
Now, if we can, after getting revenue, the government getting revenue, we shall be able to invest in electricity, so as we allow people to, like cooking using electricity, that will be helping us to protect our environment by not cutting down our trees.
Participation in the carbon markets will further position Uganda to access and deploy clean climate technologies and encourage private sector investment in climate action.
We are also aware that there is a lot of carbon in wetlands and forests and grasslands. So wherever these mechanisms are going to apply, we are going to have a lot of conservation in these areas.
We're also happy to be part of this development partner group of countries that are supporting Uganda and going with Uganda in developing these market mechanisms and regulations to unlock for the climate finance and climate action. Once again, at GGI, we congratulate the government of Uganda on this occasion and welcome insights on how we can work together to deliver finance for climate action.
The Ministry of Water and Environment is in the process of developing a national carbon registry to support effective tracking, reporting, and oversight of carbon transactions.
Here's your chance to win school fees for your child for a whole year. Just pay school fees using Momo. Dial *165 *80#. Select option 2 for school pay. Select option 1 to pay school fees. Enter the student number and amount and approve the transaction. You will now enter the draw to win school fees.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
This is a short story about you. No, I don't mean that this is you. No, this is not you. This is me. Of course, this can't be you. This can't be you because you think these things of touring Uganda are for rich people. You think these touring things are for people celebrating anniversaries. This can't be you. Because you think to enjoy wildlife, you have to first put in a leave request at work. Chimpanzees are just a 30-minute boat ride from Entebbe. And you get a chance to feed, name a chimpanzee, or even adopt a chimpanzee. You can even actually use this as a rehearsal to see if you can really provide food for another living thing. God gave us a beautiful country on a budget. We don't have to fly there, we are already here. This is ours, uniquely ours.
A smile that is white, fresh and beautiful is a smile to be proud of. Discover new Colgate White and Fresh for the whole family with high quality and an incredible price.
Welcome back from that break. We're glad you're still with us. Now, it was all somber in Kayongo zone, Namugongo, as court bailiffs forcefully evicted the family of the late police officer Moses Vani Masiko from their home. The house, located on plot 5571, block 224 in Kisugu, Namugongo, is said to have been sold off by a relative without the author's knowledge.
Widow Rosemary Chisembo and her children watched helplessly as their belongings were thrown outside, leaving them in distress and uncertainty.
Janira ojo tutase vitu bya kitafe bigenda tatuina wakubera tatuina wakulaga tukusaba otulwanirire Minisita Mayanja tukuyita tukukowora bera ko nafe musawa weno turi mu bulumi obungi batwaka ebintu bya tata waffe mutuyambe tata waffe mutoya tutunda munyambe mfa banzita bano pressure waggulu sinawendaga.
The chaos attracted many residents from the neighborhood, including Kayongo Zone Chairman Yusuf Senyonjo, who expressed his confusion and concern.
Bubewola sente mu banka ezibalimu okusasula bukati banka netwala ki netwala ennyumba nebako gwejiguza. Ngendo kubira abatuuze bano ku nsonga ezo ne bangamba bo tebewolangako ki tebewolangako sente.
Despite the emotional scene, the bailiffs proceeded with their work, saying they were acting on a lawful court order. The widow and her children accused their uncle and estate administrator, Joseph Asimwe, of secretly selling their property without the consent.
Musajja ye mutuufu naye nga ye mutuufu yagula kwani lwaki tayogera ni gwe yagulako bamuyita Asimwe Joseph ye yatunda ebintu byaffe.
However, when contacted by phone, Joseph Asimwe denied the allegations, insisting he followed proper legal procedures. Resident City Commissioner Fatuma Katongole also commented on the situation, promising to look into the matter and engage relevant authorities.
Lwaki ddala tomuteera ddala ku kyapa n'abaana bo n'obateeka ku kyapa? Because oyo omuntu gwe weesiga n'omugamba kamuleke mu maali yange ajja gitereeza ng'afuddewo, enkeera yakulyamu olukwe.
Ambantu Machawe Semambo and Jamil Sekaja for UBC News.
The Deputy Resident City Commissioner of Nakawa Division, Edrin Benessa, has ordered an immediate investigation into the land wrangles at Port Bell Port in Luzira. Now, this follows tension among fishermen working at Port Bell Port in Luzira who allege that some councillors are colluding with wealthy individuals to steal the land they occupy. The call was made during an engagement between the Deputy RCC and the fishermen held at Port Bell Port in Kampala.
Luzira Kampala is Uganda's main inland port and serves as a vital hub for import and export trade. Many economic activities are carried out at the port, employing a large number of people. During the engagement at Port Bell Port, residents and fishermen expressed concerns about tensions within the community, alleging that councillors are conniving with unknown wealth individuals to take over their land. They expressed fear of eviction, emphasizing that the port has become a crucial source of employment for them.
Bubbi obwettaka naye nga bannaffe beba ettaka abali kuno kubanga omuntu tasobola kupasesinga kyapa nga tamaze kufuna baluwa yerosi
kubanga omutala omumi wano mukama wange olaba nze nkaddiye nesandikaddiye kutuuka wano nkaddiye mantawuza abaliza amataka yambikira ku gate yemuyiseeko era ofisi y'abavubi we yali waliwo bbaalaye.
After hearing the fishermen complaints, Deputy RCC Edrin Benessa ordered an immediate investigation to identify those attempting to grab the port land. He further suspended all fees collected from fishermen until the investigation is complete.
Possible, practically, behind NRM. Because we don't believe in this.
Councillor Trinawe Wile, who is accused by fishermen leaders of conniving with their wealth, dismissed the allegations as false.
Brought 10 to 16. It is a very big place. It is the whole land where we are staying there.
Security operatives had this to say.
Issues the ownership of the land. It is giving us chirimukutu karubiriza oku investigating emisango. Omwajja n'agamba nze wano ninawo ettaka. Oli naye n'agamba ninawo ettaka. Nina ebiwandiiko. You fail to understand who is who is right, who is wrong. Nsubira eno meeting ejja tuyambako okutegeera ekituufu kyekiriwa.
Following the engagement, 2 people were arrested as investigations continue.
We'd like to thank you so much for your company this evening, because UBC News Tonight has come to an end. On behalf of the team working behind the scenes and myself, we do wish you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Every year, hundreds of thousands of pilgrims throng Namugongo to honor the Uganda Martyrs. This year, the Martyrs' Day theme for Catholics is, "O Lord, let me see you again. I, your pilgrim of hope." This theme is derived from the Jubilee year declared by the late Pope Francis and is intended to encourage spiritual renewal and hope among the faithful. Lugazu Diocese is going to lead the animation at Namugongo Catholic Shrine, while the theme for the Anglican Church is imitating God's goodness by doing good. The theme will focus on the Church's role in proclaiming the gospel with boldness, inspired by the unwavering faith of the Uganda Martyrs. The Northern Uganda Regional Cluster, comprising of the dioceses of Lango, West Nile, Madi West Nile, Kitgum and Nebi, is leading the preparations at the Anglican site. Join us on Tuesday, 3rd June 2025 as we relay to you the celebrations in real time on UBC and Star TV.
Alright, listen up. Colgate is on a mission.
It's kind of a big thing.
Colgate Herbal uses traditional nature's herbs and combines it with Colgate Science for healthy gums and strong teeth.
New Colgate Herbal with Salt combines traditional nature's herbs with a pinch of salt and Colgate Science. A natural recipe for strong teeth and healthy gums.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade has successfully completed the construction of Busolo Hospital Staff Quarters in Mutaleja District. This impressive project comprised of 74 staff units, meticulously rehabilitated and constructed to provide a comfortable living environment for healthcare workers in Mutaleja District.
Today we are here in Busolo. Busolo, basically we have been doing a rehabilitation of the staff quarters in Busolo Hospital. And today we have come to hand over the facility to the end users so that they can make use of it. Well, of course, you know, the objectives of these projects have been to make this place usable for the staff, whereby you see the environment, healthy environment for a medical worker, will enhance the